Hi, I'm Jennifer Bowker along with Brandon Huffman, National Recruiting Analyst for Scout.com and Fox Sports Next. Jim Mora, been with UCLA a year, a really strong class last year, and it looks like the same is shaping up for this year, huh?
I think it is, and part of the reason is because of the culture change that Jim Mora really instilled at UCLA. Gone were the days of the gutty little Bruins, the guys jumping over the wall in practice to skip out on practice. He instilled a real different culture, a different environment at UCLA, and guys are noticing. Guys out west are noticing, guys nationally are noticing, and now UCLA is kind of becoming a cheap program to be a part of, and it helps when they win the Pac-12 South. They beat USC this year in a year that everybody expected USC to be the Pac-12 champions and maybe a potential national championship contender. Jim Mora kind of took over in the weakest and darkest times of UCLA football, and within a year, he's really changed kind of the face of that entire program, and it's really paying dividends in the recruiting trail.
This weekend is a big weekend for UCLA in terms of visits. Talk about what guys are visiting.
Well, they had 10 visitors on campus this weekend. 5 guys were committed and 5 were uncommitted. Of the committed guys, really the biggest job they're going to have to do is Miles Jack from Bellevue High School. He's been committed to them since June, but Washington is still putting the pressure on to keep him close to home. He visited this weekend, and that's kind of was their main target, is to secure his commitment. But then there was the uncommitted guys like Priest Willis and Tyler Foreman and Johnny Johnson and Kylie Fitz, who'd been committed to USC for some time. They've got some unofficial visitors also joining them. Tahan Goodman, most notably, he took his official visit back during the season, the weekend they played USC, but Goodman and Priest Willis are very close friends. They've said that they're about an 85% guarantee to play together in college. So it wasn't just the official visitors they brought in, but it was an unofficial visitor that could also be a key to this class. But this visit weekend is definitely the biggest weekend for UCLA in the 2013 class.
And when you talk about that class, would you say the strength is their offensive line?
Yeah, there's no question. Adrian Clem is one of the best young recruiters in the country. A very strong contender for National Recruiter of the Year, because he's not just recruited well in state, but he's recruited in the state of Texas. He's gone into Tennessee and gotten a top lineman, and he's done a very good job of not just recruiting offensive linemen, but recruiting in general. But the O-line is really the strength of UCLA, and if there's been a weakness besides quarterback in the last 10 to 15 years for UCLA, it's been on the offensive line. And so with Adrian Clem, you got a guy who's a young, aggressive recruiter who's got 3 Super Bowl rings, and he's an impressionable guy, but he's also the guy that the guys kind of look to as kind of a big brother type. He'll coach them up when they get there, but he's, they're naturally gravitating towards him during the recruiting process, and that's why he's able to get, 7 very good offensive linemen to come in.
You mentioned the weakness, though, that we're watching right now. No quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, Brett Hundleys don't come around that often. And yes, they did get Brett Hundley to really take that position, and for the first time since 1998, make it his own and really give UCLA less questions at the quarterback position. The problem is, it's the guys behind Brett Hundley that there are the big question marks. They lose both their second and third string backup quarterbacks this year, Kevin Prince and Richard Breho, to graduation. They've got Jerry Newhouser. They did get TJ Millward down the stretch last year, and Devin Fuller, who was a top 5 quarterback, but he looks like he's going to be a receiver for them now. And they had a quarterback committed early on. It was probably not a good decision to go across the country to get him, because if you're going to go after quarterbacks that you can get that are average, quarterbacks, you can get those on the West Coast. And so now they are 2 weeks before signing day without a quarterback. Now, this coming weekend, they're going to bring in Asante Woolard, who is the MVP of the Elite 11, out of the state of Florida. He had been a South Florida commit. They're bringing him in for an official visit, and they're going to try to do whatever they can to get him to commit and offer some depth at the quarterback position. The good news is there's a good group of quarterbacks out west in 2014. The bad news is you won't get them for another year and a half on campus, and UCLA needs some depth next year, whether it's a freshman that it's just a serviceable backup, but they need more quarterback depth, and I think that's the one glaring weakness in this class, is their lack of a quarterback.
All right, we'll keep reporting on the story at Scout.com and Fox Sports Next.